Hello, this is Kevin with Bang It Inc. And today we're going to talk more about 19.11 enhancements. This section is going to be for those that maybe using the old 16 division master format, 95 list or something of that nature, and you want to move into, the 50 divisions and so forth from the newer list and so forth. And you don't really, maybe I don't care about some of my items, or maybe I don't use assemblies and so forth, that I just want a quick way to set up a database with some basic structure to it. So these databases are extremely powerful because they at least give me all the different phase structures set up. And then using the new database editor utilities that we're going to show you, you can actually populate it from Excel a little bit easier than we could do before and that type of thing. So if I go into my estimating management console, under my standard database, there's an option to install databases. One of the choices is optional databases, training databases. So all of these are pretty, the sample ones are what I see back here when it first pulls up. And all those have like just a very small amount of items in it. They may have one assembly in it or something like that. A lot of time that structure is so old that it's not complete and so forth. The optional databases where I can get into some of the different databases that I can actually purchase and so forth. Training databases are more when they were doing, if I do some estimating classes, they use some of the different databases there for the training programs and so forth. And then shell databases was what we're looking at here. So basically there's one called a shell commercial general contracting. And this one pretty much just includes phases commonly used by commercial general contractors. This is the, 16 divisions from the 1995 CSI list and so forth. And then this is 2011 will get me into my 50 different divisions and so forth. So I'm going to go through and say that that's where I want to start. So I go through there, pick it, I say install, and then I'll go through and actually install that particular database. Now keep in mind that it's just getting me my group phases, type of structure that I still may have to go through and create whatever items I want, or assemblies I want, add-ons that I want, things of that nature. But for a lot of people that do just like general contracting and so forth, maybe doing a bunch of one-time items for those headings and then saving that back to the database, this would be a great way just to get a new, foundation started if I've been on 16 divisions forever and want to move over to the 50 divisions and have, just all that effort completed for me. Okay, so now it says one successful, so it's basically complete. So if I go back to estimating and take a look and see what we got, then when I go up to File, Open Standard Databases, there's my new database right there. So if I were to look at item takeoff or quick takeoff or something of that nature, I'm just going to go take a look at quick takeoff, for example. You could pretty much just see the divisions 1 through 45 as we go down through there, and each one of the different group phases can have some sort of number of phases below that. And that's pretty much where they just have stopped at this point. So it's just giving me a quick way to get a lot of that structure, because that's still, a bunch of different headings if I was going to sit down and try to do it manually. Now, the other thing that they've done that's a little bit different than the phases, I think in the master format, they do like 2 characters dot, 2 characters space, so they've just kind of put periods in there to try to keep it all a little bit more consistent, because the dots in there are a little bit easier to work with than spaces are sometimes when you're sorting and so forth. So quick way to get a database started. What do you think? Make sure to leave me a comment down below if you got any other ideas or ways that you think you might be able to use that and so forth. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to keep getting the content around the corner. And thank you for your time.